Hello and welcome. It's good to know you're there. Thank you so much for being in our previous classes. I want to thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing, and for those who follow, thank you so much. Please invite someone else to like and tell them about what we're doing, and also encourage them to share and to follow. Thank you so much. So we already on minerals. We've looked at major minerals, calcium and the likes. We're done with them, and now we're on dietary minerals that are required in small quantity, and so they are called micronutrients or microelements. Now the fact that they are called microelements, it's not that they are not useful. No, the reverse is even true. They are actually required in a very minute quantity or level for them to have a very big impact. Now, I made allusions to copper, for example, and you want to take a look at them in the previous videos. So please take a look at the previous videos and learn. Copper, zinc, very minute in quantity required, but have enormous benefits, enormous function. Now we continue with manganese, dietary manganese. We talked about the historical part of it, discovered by Johan Gahn, a Swedish scientist, and then it got on to the middle between 1930s and 1950s before he realized the importance of manganese in the nutrition of animals and humans. Now we've dealt with this. We looked at the sources of manganese, being leafy vegetables, nuts, grains, cereals, and the others. And we've also looked at it that it's not very common found in animal tissues. So without much ado, we'll go into absorption. Now, why do we have to talk about absorption? This is absorption of manganese. Mn is a scientific symbol for manganese. We looked at it last week that the atomic weight is 55. Now, why do we have to talk about absorption? Absorption occurs immediately after ingestion. That is, when food or feed, depending, for animals we say feed, except for pets we call food. When food or feed is ingested, it is masticated and salivated and then rolled. And then by the tongue helps to roll the food while it's being masticated. Mastication means chewing, and then it's being swallowed. Now, upon swallowing, digestion starts immediately. For carbohydrates, it starts in the mouth. Thiolin and other enzymes begin to work, thiolin particularly, and then it goes in. By the time it gets to the small intestine, particularly, absorption starts, and the same thing occurs. The nutrients, carbohydrates, and the others, including minerals like manganese, it starts. Now, the small intestine has the compartment, the jejunum, the ileum, and duodenum. So, essentially, absorption primarily occurs in the small intestine. Although about 3 to 5% of it actually is absorbed through the rate of absorption is actually low. So just about 3 to 5% of this is absorbed. Now, what are the factors that determines or affects absorption of manganese? Let's look at them quickly. Number one, iron status in the blood or in the body. Iron is another very important mineral. Iron with the atomic symbol or the symbol, chemical symbol Fe, that is from the Latin name ferrous. So iron status in the blood has an antagonistic relationship with the level of manganese that will be in the blood. So we'll call them antagonistic minerals. Some minerals would almost like an exclusive relationship. If I'm going to be there, this does not have to be there. So if the quantity of this is going to be high, this must be low for this to be high. For example, you have that with calcium and magnesium. The same relationship occurs with manganese and iron. So if manganese is going to be much, iron will be low. But you need more iron than that, because iron is a very key component of the blood. So because of the high quantity of iron that will be required for hemoglobin and the likes, so manganese absorption will be lower. So factor that affects absorption of manganese in the body, iron reduces the level. So once iron level is high, manganese will be low. That understood. Now the next is calcium and phosphorus. Calcium and phosphorus may interfere with the absorption of manganese where they are present in large quantity. So when we have a large quantity of calcium in the body, in the blood system and the blood stream, and phosphorus, just the same thing, antagonistic relationship is going to reduce the presence or the absorption, of manganese. Then number 3, factor that affects absorption of manganese is phytate and fiber. Now, phytate down. When you see phytate fiber, you should give it something that is related to plants, because fibrous materials are mostly plant materials from plant sources. But where does phytate come in? Now, what are phytates? Phytates are salts or esters of phytic acid. So phytates are salts or esters of phytic acid. They are usually present in plant materials, especially nuts, grains, cereals, oats, and cereals, of course, and legumes. Now, phytates and phytic acid are the major store of phosphorus. So the function of it, they are not just the major store of phosphorus. Their function is to bind minerals and make them unavailable. So when you have phytates, the phytates will bind the minerals and make them unavailable. For example, now phytates can bind iron, bind calcium, bind zinc minerals and make them unavailable. So phytates can affect. So phytates are salts or esters of phytic acid. They are the main store of certain minerals like phosphorus and manganese and magnesium and manganese in plant materials like cereals, nuts, and the others. So when they are phytic acid binds and makes something unavailable. So when you bind them, they are not easily broken and made available. Now the number 4 is the body need. This is very crucial. The body is so structured so that when a nutrient is required, an emergency is sent to the brain, please produce more of these nutrients. Or if it is not to be produced, if it is to be absorbed, the brain sends a signal saying absorb more of it. But if you have enough, the brain will say no, we don't need much, don't absorb, excrete excess of it. So that's what it is. So the rate of absorption of manganese is determined by the levels of iron. If it's much, manganese absorption is low. Number 2, calcium and phosphorus. If they are large, absorption of manganese will be low. Number 2, phytate that binds manganese. If they are not phytate binding manganese, it's going to be available. And also they are found in fibrous materials. Fibrous materials like plant sources, we talked about cereals, nuts, and the others. If you have a question, please put them on the comment section. Send me a mail. I'm going to be glad to respond. And then the body need, which is very crucial. If your body needs more, it sends signal, produce more, or absorb more of this. I want to thank you for staying tuned to this. In the next, we're going to be considering metabolism, the either breaking. So you get to know either we're breaking or building of manganese. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next class. Thank you.